Brittany and welcome back to my channel. I'm not sick. No, it's just early in the morning and also late at night. My room is very dry and my whole mouth and throat and everything just gets very dry, and so it's something I've dealt with for years. It's nothing new. But it can trigger my my asthma cough a little bit, so yeah. Anyway, so I am just coming on to talk to you guys tonight. I am a 28-year-old autistic girl, and I do videos about books and autism here on this channel, so if you, sorry guys, I'm really tired. If you like that kind of stuff, bookish content or autism related content, please feel free to like and comment or subscribe or both. And sorry guys, there was just a fly in here. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think it's gone. Anyway, yeah, so I've taken my sleeping meds. They haven't entirely kicked in yet. I'm autistic and I have sleep issues. I have chronic nightmares. And so my psychiatrist has recommended trying 5 milligrams of melatonin, 3 days on, 2 days off. I don't generally take medications, but I will under the sort of advice and the supervision of my doctor, and that's so if you know, you think that, you know, melatonin might help you, I find it helps me quite a bit, but please talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. Don't take that as anything. Just if it's something you want to do, talk to your doctor first. Always, always, always. Okay. But yeah, so anyway, so this video is, that's why I'm filming this video, is because I'm really, really tired. My sleeping meds have not yet kicked in, and so I'm going to just sort of chat with you guys a little bit, and hopefully my sleeping meds will kick in after I film, and then I can just kind of go to bed, read a little bit, and go to bed. So so in this video I just want to talk to you guys a bit about why I decided to write a novel. So I guess I should probably start at the beginning. So when I was young, we didn't know I was autistic, but we definitely knew something was different about me. I wasn't a very sociable kid. I didn't have a lot of friends, you know? And, I mean, I had one friend who, a couple of friends actually, who also really loved to read, which was great for me, but they didn't really get into reading more until like high school or whatever. But for me, even in elementary school, like, I was always a absolutely voracious reader. My parents raised me to love reading, and they always encouraged me to read whatever I was interested in. It didn't matter what it was, I was allowed to read it, because, I mean, obviously age appropriate, but generally speaking, I was pretty much allowed to read whatever I wanted. And because of that, and because of that intense encouragement of reading and curiosity and learning, I was so lucky growing up to have that. It made me a very, very, very voracious reader. It made me have an extensive vocabulary. And it just really, really helped me. I was bullied in school, and I found I didn't really have a lot of friends, and I found that the characters in books made great substitutes for friends. I would read books and I wouldn't feel so alone. I would feel like I was there with these characters going through having these adventures, and it brought me just an incredible amount of comfort. And it got me through some very, very tough days that I had. So I, at the same time as I would stories would fill my head, and I would have these. I have delayed echolalia, which now I know what that is, but back then I didn't. I just knew that, people would say, oh, well, she talks to herself. Well, I wasn't talking to myself. I was playing out in my head conversations. I would actually rehearse and play out conversations to try to have a response for every single direction that a conversation could possibly take, especially if it was going to be a tough conversation. I would try to play it out in my head. And I would often have, if I had read a book that I really liked, if there was an example of something in that book, or if there was a response to something in that book that I agreed with and I related to, I would take that and I would use it in my conversation. I would just repeat whatever was said in the book in the conversation, if I thought that it fit or that it could fit. That's just the wind. But yeah, if I thought that it fit or that it could fit in the conversation, I would just use it, and I would stick it in, and I would use it as a way of helping me to communicate with the people around me. I still do that sometimes. Not with the intensity that I used to. I'm still an incredibly voracious reader, but I don't use the late echolalia with the intensity that I used to. And so then later down the line, after I met my husband and learned that he used to be a really, really voracious reader, but then he kind of quit reading, I guess, because he kind of got picked on for it a bit. So he essentially just sort of quit reading. And I helped him rekindle that love and get back into reading. And it wasn't long after that I found BookTube. I was on YouTube searching around, and I found a video of a girl who was talking all about books, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So that was the day I discovered BookTube, and I decided to join in because I thought, why not? I thought it could be fun, and I thought it would be a great way to make some friends and to just sort of, socialize in a way that felt good and felt safe to me. I've never had any problem being in front of a camera. I'm not huge on photos, but filming myself because I can manipulate the camera and get the angles and whatnot that I want. It doesn't feel that the control over that makes it feel safer in a weird way. I don't know. I'm probably not making any sense. Please tell me if I'm not making any sense at all. But it makes my confidence about being in front of a camera higher, I guess. yeah, I'm probably not making much sense. But anyway, so yeah, so what does all this have to do with me wanting to write a novel? Well, every time I read, especially if I'm in between books, like if I get like reader's hangover basically, where it's like I finish a book and I am so sad that the book is over and that it's like my time with those characters has ended. And then I try to pick up a new book to get into it, and it takes me a bit. Sometimes I will actually have to put the new book down for a few days in order to give myself a chance to kind of process the other book and now get a review up and whatnot. But still, just to process it in my own head and kind of, yeah, process it. And then I also, like, so I will do that. So in that span, like, basically if there's more than like a week between books, I will process, like, I'll process the book that I read. But then if there's more than like a week gap of just like letting my brain rest, like I'll let my brain rest for a few days. But if it happens that I just get really busy or whatever, and there's more than a week gap between finishing a book and like starting the next book, my head will often fill with stories. I make up my own stories all the time. All the time, all the time, all the time. I've done that ever since I was a little kid. My parents always encouraged me to use my imagination, and I've always been one to just make up stories. And they usually just stayed in my head. I never really wrote them down. I never really talked about them too much. And I remember years ago I tried to write one down, and it just didn't work. It was so different in my head as to what I was putting on the page, and I wasn't entirely sure how to go about doing that, because I was trying to do it all from my head with like no resources, no nothing, and I can't do that. Like I need something to work from. Like I need like a structure to work from. So when I discovered the sort of Save the Cat plot structure, I discovered a lot of plot structures, but when I started looking into plot structures and stuff, and then I discovered a bunch of them and I didn't really like them, but then I discovered the Save the Cat one, and it seemed to be something that I could use, something that would work for me. I also found some other online resources that helped me in terms of character development, like in terms of just questions to ask myself. So just to be like, well, you know, pretend like you're interviewing your character. Like, what questions would you ask them? You know, if they were a real person. And it just helps to kind of fill it out and make it deeper and better. And but anyway, the point is I found a bunch of online resources to work from. But I guess the thing is that I would have all these stories in my head and I wouldn't really write them down. And then when I would pick up the next book, they would kind of just be forgotten. And I've lost so many stories that way. But books really, really touched me. Books gave me friends when I didn't have friends. The characters in books were my friends when I didn't have a lot of friends. And they saved me, really. They gave me the strength to get through, and they've touched me in so many different ways. And I guess one day I just sort of figured, if I can help someone else the way these authors have helped me, I want to do that. If my stories that I'm making up in my head could potentially touch someone else the way that, you know, stories from other authors have touched me, I want it out there. I want my stories out there to touch those people. I want the opportunity for that to happen. It is extremely late, and I am well aware that I am likely not making any sense. So, I'm gonna go, but because I'm starting to feel my sleeping meds kick in. But thank you for listening. I hope you kind of enjoyed my rambling, maybe, about why I decided to write a novel as an autistic person. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. Subscribe if you want to. I really do appreciate every single subscriber that I get, but I also really, really, really appreciate comments. So if anything else, if nothing else, I love engaging with you guys down in the comment section. It just really means the world to me. So, okay, I am off to bed. So, okay. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Alright, guys. Good night. Bye.